briefing of the Foreign Office. Let me begin with Prime Minister Imran Khan's ongoing visit to Uzbekistan on the invitation of the Uzbek President. The Prime Minister is accompanied by a high-level delegation, including the members of the Cabinet and a group of leading Pakistani businessmen. The wide-ranging talks between the two leaders during the visit will cover the entire gamut of bilateral relations as well as regional and international issues. A number of agreements and memoranda of understanding will also be signed to further deepen cooperation between Pakistan and Uzbekistan. The Prime Minister will address the first Pakistan-Uzbekistan Business Forum, and as we speak, the Prime Minister has already addressed the Business Forum. The Prime Minister will also participate in the International Conference on Central and South Asia Regional Connectivity, Challenges and Opportunities. Pakistan and Uzbekistan enjoy historic fraternal relations marked by mutual respect and rooted in common culture and similar traditions. In recent years, we have seen Pakistan-Uzbekistan relations on an upward trajectory. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi led the Pakistan delegation to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Council of Foreign Ministers meeting held in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. Marking the 20th anniversary of the founding of SCO, the Foreign Minister commended the work carried out by SCO during the last 2 decades, highlighted the formidable collective political and economic potential of the organization, emphasized that the key to unlock the geo-economic potential of this region lies in developing greater connectivity and transport linkages, underscored concern at the indiscriminate use of force in complete disregard to international humanitarian laws and unilateral approach to solve long-standing international disputes, and called for greater people-to-people contacts in order to strengthen ties between member states for the achievement of a shared vision of a peaceful, prosperous, and interconnected SCO region. On the sidelines of SCO CFM, the Foreign Minister held bilateral meetings with his counterparts from Tajikistan, China, Russia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and Afghanistan. The Foreign Minister also represented Pakistan in the SCO Afghan Contact Group meeting. The Prime Minister addressed the UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development on 13 July 2021. During his address, the Prime Minister underscored that COVID-19 pandemic has once again underscored the imperative of unity and interdependence of nations. Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi participated in the ministerial meeting of the Non-Aligned Movement hosted by the Republic of Azerbaijan in virtual mode. In his statement, the Foreign Minister underscored the Non-Aligned Movement's important role in promoting peace and development and in responding to current global challenges, and called for strict adherence to the principles and purposes of the UN Charter and values of multilateralism for advancing the common goal of sustained peace and development. During the week, the Foreign Minister received a telephone call from the US Secretary of State Anthony J. Blinken. The two leaders discussed bilateral relations and important developments in the region. On bilateral relations, the Foreign Minister emphasized Pakistan's commitment to forging a broad-based, long-term, and sustainable relation with the United States. On the Afghan peace process, the Foreign Minister stressed that there was a fundamental convergence between Pakistan and the United States. He underscored that securing peace in Afghanistan was the shared responsibility of all stakeholders inside Afghanistan as well as key regional and international players. The two sides also exchanged views on regional connectivity and other key issues. Foreign Minister Qureshi thanked Secretary Blinken for the COVID-related support extended to Pakistan by the United States. Now coming to the situation in the region, as the withdrawal of foreign forces from Afghanistan is nearing completion, we remain concerned at the evolving security situation in Afghanistan. We once again reiterate the imperative of a political settlement in Afghanistan. Pakistan has played an important role in the Afghan peace process, and it remains committed to facilitate the process in future as well. However, we believe that ultimately it is the Afghans themselves who have to decide about their future. At this critical juncture, all Afghan stakeholders must work out an inclusive, broad-based, and comprehensive political settlement for durable peace and stability in Afghanistan. A meaningful engagement of the world community for promoting reconstruction and economic development in the post-conflict Afghanistan is important for ensuring sustainable peace and stability in the country. We also believe that peaceful settlement of the Afghan dispute should also lead to a dignified and time-bound return of Afghan refugees from Pakistan. This is the first time that friends and partners of Afghanistan must remain closely engaged to advance shared goals and objectives. Now coming to our eastern neighbor, Pakistan has yet again presented clear evidence of India's financial and material support of terrorist activities in Pakistan. We have pointed out in the past as well that India has been actively aiding and abetting terrorism to destabilize Pakistan and imperil regional peace. Pakistan had last year shared irrefutable evidence of India's sponsorship of terrorist violence and instability in Pakistan, resulting in indiscriminate attacks against innocent civilians, leading to loss of precious lives. We call upon India to eschew the use of terrorism as an instrument of state policy, dismantle its terror infrastructure against Pakistan, arrest the perpetrators of Lahore attack, and bring them to justice without any delay. On the situation in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Yom Shuhada-e-Kashmir was observed on 13 July to pay homage to the 22 Kashmiris who laid down their lives fighting the brutal Doga forces in Srinagar in 1931. The courage of these martyrs galvanized an unparalleled struggle for self-determination in 1931 that continues till date. Over 390 Kashmiris have been martyred by the Indian occupation forces in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir since 5th August 2019 alone. Only recently, an elderly woman was deliberately crushed to death under an army vehicle used by the Indian occupation forces while she was crossing the road in Nadihal village on Bandipura Srinagar road. India must realize that despite applying all tools of oppression and using state terrorism as a policy, it has failed to subjugate the will of the Kashmiri people. We once again call upon the international community, particularly the United Nations and human rights organizations, to investigate the persistent extrajudicial killings of Kashmiris by Indian occupation forces and bring the perpetrators of these heinous crimes against humanity to justice. Pakistan, on its part, will continue to support the Kashmiri people in their just struggle against the Indian oppression till the realization of the Kashmiris' inalienable right to self-determination as enshrined in the relevant United Nations Security Council resolutions. With this, I thank you very much, and I'm happy to take questions on these or other foreign policy related developments.